Yesterday, I went to the No Kings protest, and right now, I actually want to talk mostly to men because there's something in the popular discourse that I think is, frankly, a lot of men aren't getting. And if you're not a man, you probably will still enjoy this video, but I'm going to talk to men for a second here because I went dressed like this, okay? I was literally just dressed as a founding father. I think the costume cost 35 bucks on Amazon, maybe, I don't remember, and I made a sign that was something I believed in, that all are created equal. And I had a smile on my face, and that's it. And you don't want to know what happened to me that made me think of this topic? Everybody wanted to talk to me. There was a protest of, I don't know how many people were there in Seattle yesterday, maybe 90,000 or something. And yet, every single person was coming up and talking to me, and especially relevant, a lot of them were like very attractive, very smart, gregarious women my own age. Okay, that were coming up to me. And the reason this made me think of something that I think is really important for men to understand that a lot don't, is that a lot of the advice you're getting is really bad. Because unlike a lot of other people, I am obviously, I'm frustrated with our current political situation and all of that, but I'm not, as angry specifically at young men or middle-aged men or men in general as some people are. And the reason why is because I am a man and I've heard the kind of advice you're getting, and it's all so bad. I mean, the average man is hearing things like, oh, women want a protector. That's why you need to go to the gym. And that's also why you need to vote to take away women's rights. And it's like, you're mixing messages here. It makes no sense. If somebody actually wanted a protector, why would they want to be with somebody who votes to take away their rights? That's not protecting. Frankly, that's just not being a supportive partner in general. Nobody wants to be with a partner like that. And again, I'm not saying this to judge or shame anybody, because I think, again, I've been a man my whole life, and I know the messages you're getting, and so much of the advice that is being shoved in your face, so much of the media, even innocent seeming media, frankly, that's being shoved in your face is just full of terrible, terrible examples and terrible advice about life in general. Like, all you gotta do is just show up for people. All you gotta do is just show up for people. That's true on dates. That's true in politics. That's true in general. Just show up. And the bar is so low that when somebody like me just shows up in like a costume as a founding father with a sign and makes it clear that I do care about the issues that you people are going through, like all of a sudden, consider how low the bar has to be for that to be like a huge plus. Like that's the bare minimum, right? And if you don't think that you're capable of doing that, a lot of men are like angry at like feminism now. Even men who consider themselves like politically moderate. I've talked to men who are like angry at feminism because they don't have a partner. And it's like, no. The issue isn't that you're like feminism. The issue is how you feel about feminism. The issue is that you're being told that there's no way you can change. The system is like rigged against you. And I'm living proof of the fact that the system is not rigged against you. The system is rigged heavily in your favor. Heavily. And I really do mean that. If you put in the barest amount of effort, because right now, media has poisoned so many men into being just terrible people. If you're not an asshole, you got options. Like, I'm completely sincere in this. All these people that are giving you advice, that are pumping you full of all this bullshit, you don't need it. Okay? Once again, they're giving you bad advice. And the number one thing that men need to do, because the thing is, I have a lot of like female friends, and I've noticed a lot of guys don't. I mean, a lot of guys don't have a lot of friends just in general. Sadly, that's becoming more and more common in American society, that people don't have real friends. And even those that do have friends, like a lot of them are like 100% male out of all their close friends. And so you're not listening. You're not hearing. Because I'll have like my, among my female friends, some of my best friends are female. That's a joke, but it's also true. They'll come and they'll talk to me about some date they went on. Like, oh, this was so crummy. This is why. And if you just listen, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. There's so much that some friend would complain about, and I would hear it and I'd be like, I totally would have done that same thing. Except now I know not to do that. Nobody is born knowing all this stuff. Nobody is born knowing how to be a human, how to impress people, how to do any of this. But the number one thing you can do to succeed, if you actually care about finding a partner, if you actually care about, just succeeding in life in general, listen to people. Just listen. And it's actually so funny that like I will talk to some of my female friends, they'll be complaining about whatever date they went on, whatever, or even just more broadly, they'll be like, why are men like this? Blah, blah, blah. And whenever a lot of men hear that, they're like, they get offended. And let me tell you this, okay? I understand why hearing that seems like it could be offensive. I get that. But your role in that moment is not to push back. Your role in that moment is to listen and then be the example that hashtag not all men are like that, okay? Your role in that moment is to hear and say, oh man, do men do this thing? Do I do this thing? Well, maybe I should stop. Maybe I can approach things a different, smarter way. And if you're a smart person, you can do it. Even if you're just an average intelligence or even low intelligence person, it doesn't honestly take a lot of effort to just put in the effort to listen and be like, this is how I can be a better person. This is how I can appeal to people better. This is how I can make it clear that I care about the person that I'm talking to. And so once again, I'm not saying this all to try to shame you all. I grew up with the same media basically that most of you did. And a lot of it, like I said, has a lot of just bad examples of how to act, how to behave, and some of which are buried in stuff. I mean, some of the things that some female friend of mine, like I say, when they're complaining about something, some of the things they complain about is something that's in every rom-com, right? Some of the stuff that they complain about is stuff that I never would have even thought was problematic because, the most popular movie from 2005 has the lead actor acting in exactly that way. And so, and that's just an example. I don't actually know what the most popular movie from 2005 was. But my point is that the bar is kind of on the floor right now. And the whole system is rigged in your favor. If you're one of the few people who actually cares, you're ahead of 90% of the male population right now. That's tremendously, it's easy for you. It should be harder. I myself don't have it all figured out either, but I will say I do better than a lot of other guys. And one way that I know for sure doesn't work in improving your life is to listen to people whose lives kind of suck. If you're listening to Jordan Peterson to see how you should be living your life, look at his actual life. Look at his results. They're so bad. They're so bad. He looks like a miserable person. He has all sorts of health problems because he was addicted to heroin or whatever for years, and or benzos or something, right? And then he just started eating raw deer meat for some reason. This is not a man to follow. Joe Rogan is rich, but listen to him talk. He sounds stupid. He's legitimately he's curious and open-minded, sort of, on certain topics. I'll be clear about that. He's actually not open-minded about all topics. He kind of plays the role of somebody who's always curious and open-minded, but he does have some very strong opinions, and the opinions he has are really dumb. So don't listen to some loser or moron for your advice. And again, I know this is something media has been pushing on you. I'm not saying this to shame you for past decisions or anything, but this is your chance to wake up and change your life and realize, oh, hey, maybe some of the stuff I've been doing, if it's not working, I should try something different. Because right now we have a bridge between the sexes that's bigger than it's ever been. And not 100% of it, but I will say a lot of it is just driven by polarizing media that's radicalizing men into not caring about the actual problems that women face. And if you just sit down and listen, you'll be ahead of 90% of men. And if what you're doing right now isn't working, this is a sign to try something else. That's all.